So if you're thinking you need some project management, email marketing, and you need social media planning and calendaring, then Odoo is for you. And the reason is because Odoo is designed to be every possible app a small business, well, it'll scale. We've got some really large businesses using it, but it's designed to be affordable enough for and useful enough for small businesses so they can have an integrated technology environment. I'm going to show you a couple of things that are specific to your needs, and then I'll show you a couple of other things that are available in the tool. If we go here, so the social media marketing button is right here. That's whatever apps you're using from the system, you would have icons for them on the desktop, and you can move them around so that each person's apps are ordered the way they want, and they only can see the apps they have access to. So if they don't have permissions to a particular app, the icon doesn't even appear on their desktop. There are 89 apps in all, so that's why we only load the ones that you're actually using. So when you click on social media marketing, you can view your social media by your streams, all streams at once or by stream. So this is our sandbox account, so there's just a bunch of garbage in here, but you can see all of the different posts that have gone through. You can see, whether or not it was shared or viewed. Of course, these never actually got posted, so you're not going to see shares and views on them. You can also respond to the different social media posts. So this is an actual feed of your social media posts. You can also go in and look just at the posts. So we're in the feed. Now we're going to go to the posts. And in the posts, this shows you that we have one that's already scheduled and one that's a draft. What you can do is give some people the ability to create content but not publish it. And then people who have the authority to publish the information can open up the posts group and see what's waiting for review, and then publish it after their review, or send comments to the person who created it, have them update it, and then review one more time. So if you want to send a message to somebody internally about this particular post, you would just make a note to that person and say whatever you want, and then they can respond to you right here on this message sideboard, so you can communicate about the posts as they're created. You can also schedule activities from the post. So you could say, well, a to-do is, let's discuss this in our next meeting, or so you could schedule an email, a call, a to-do. This is where approval can be granted. You can upload documents, whatever you want. So, and then that to-do item would land on that person's task list, and you would have visibility to those task lists. So that's how you can view the posts and see which ones need attention. You can also see this, right now we're looking at it in a Kanban form. You could look at it in calendar form. So here is the one in this test system that is already scheduled to go. And this one is in the calendar, but it's got the lines through it. It shows you this is still in draft and would need to be published or it will not go. And then you can see the list of items that are in this calendar view on the right. You can also see that in a list view. So you've got these different views of the content that you can use to manage them. If you wanted to create new feeds, you would go to this feed button, hit add a stream, and these are the feeds that Odoo works with. You can schedule as many Facebook pages or LinkedIn pages as you have attached to those accounts. Okay, so now let's take a look at projects. So we're going to go back to the main screen, and then we would look for your projects button, which is right here. In this project screen, you'll see we have a couple of open projects, and you can see some details about those projects from here, and these cards can be customized. And then from here, you can see what your project status is. So you would indicate, if you're on track. Now, if you've got timers and dates set, this will auto adjust that particular setting. But you can also manually adjust it. Okay, so let's take a look at a project from inside. You can go as simple or as complex as you want in this project environment. And right now we're looking at the Kanban view, so we can see the different stages of the project itself. And this one goes out quite a ways. You can see it in Kanban view. You can see it in list view. You can adjust which columns are visible in this list view. Here you've got a Gantt chart view. Here's the calendar view. You can also see it in this table type view, which allows you to export any of your project details to a spreadsheet. And here, if you're doing resource planning and attaching your projects to employees with labor rates and timing, you can actually see who's got time available to work on which things. But most companies use this basic Kanban view to manage their projects. Now, if you are a resource that's working on a project, you could go right here, click this timer, schedule, that you're working on this now, and let the timer start running. And the system will track the time on the task. So if we want to go look at a task, you can see if the task is attached to a milestone, who's assigned to the task. You've got tags, the deadline for the task. You can put details about the task in here so people know what to do. This is kind of nice. You can add subtasks to a task, which then can be updated. And they can be assigned to different resources, or you can add resource to them. And then the subtasks themselves can be viewed. And subtasks can have subtasks. So this does function as an incredibly comprehensive project management system. The nice thing, we get back up here, is when we look at the calendar view, you'll be able to see a calendar view for all your projects or just your pop-up shop project. And you can also see tasks. You can see my tasks or all tasks, and you can filter tasks by assignees. And again, people could do time tracking from here. You can use tags to organize tasks in meaningful ways. You can use prioritization tools like this star. And we can see all tasks in calendar form as well. So that's going to pull tasks from the projects, but also just from tasks that are assigned to people randomly. It's also incredibly easy to set up a new project. So we would say new, let's name it, I don't know, trade show plan. You can create tasks by sending emails to an email address that you would assign that's associated with this server. So if you're, getting on a plane and you think, oh my God, I forgot to add such and such task to the project, or something just came up, you can literally email yourself a task and it will land on the project. So we create the project, and then we would just start creating stages. I don't know, let's make a few things up. So there we've got some stages built. We can manually add tasks to the stages from there. We can assign it to people right from inside this card, to one or more people. We could just hit add and go to the next task. Or we could go to edit instead of hitting add and hit a due date. That's our little save button. It auto saves a lot, but I'm big on hitting save buttons. Let's go back to the plan. We didn't add a due date here, so we could go in here and add this due date. And again, you can get as deep, in terms of subtasks, extra information. You can assign something a parent task. You can create relationships between tasks, so something can't be finished or started until something else is finished. When you're in the task, you can actually create messages to each other, and then that conversation can continue in line with the task. They could upload a document if needed. You just have a lot of communication tools, or you could simply log a note about the task. And then here you can schedule activities. So activities, again, could be any of these things. You have extensive workflows and automations you can create in this system. So they're showing you the most popular, but any of those could be done. You could also just mark the task done from there. So that's how easy it is to set up a project and assign tasks and deadlines to it. And then people can go in and just start tracking time to the project or marking their tasks done. And again, when you want to go back to your task board and see where everything is, there you are. You can see we've got a pop-up shop in here. We should also have, there we go, there's our trade show tasks showing up in there. So here's where you consolidate all of your tasks. So now you've seen project planning and how to set up a project, and you've seen social media and how to schedule a calendar and set up drafts and approvals for that. Oh, one other thing I want to show you. Let's go to the pop-up shop again. You can also schedule automations for different stages. So you could say anytime, let's say we move something to design and build out. So as soon as this task, design and build out tasks start, we want an automation. And you can build automations when something enters a pipeline stage, leaves a pipeline stage, different types of activities are done, certain tasks are completed. There's this whole if-then logic that allows you to then automate steps within the Odoo system. So you can build easy workflows from here. And you can also just put those into a table, organize that table the way you want if you've got some spreadsheet skills, and export to a spreadsheet or insert to a spreadsheet. Very flexible for getting your data out and managing it. If you do end up replacing HubSpot, you also have marketing, email marketing, marketing automation. There's a ton of marketing apps in here, and I'll show you the apps again in a minute. But You can schedule regular nurture campaigns for people who respond from workflows on your website, like respond to a form, trigger a nurture campaign. All the different types of marketing automation you can do in HubSpot, you can do in here. You can design new emails. So here's an example of an email design. The editor is a little different than most email systems, but it's very robust. So it just takes a little getting used to. So you go here, like if you click on this option, it's going to show you, oh, it's going to pull up the image section and allow you to do all of the editing features right there in line or replace it. Now we're jumping to this section. Now we're jumping to this text section. So it's very editable, designable. You can schedule your A/B tests. You can do all your email settings from here. The flexibility in this system is much higher than HubSpot. So it looks a little different, but a quick training session and most people master it. You'll also see we have these little sub menus across the top. So you can see all of your stats for your emails right there in one place. You can design new templates and add them yourself. So that's some of the email marketing function. For marketing automations, again, any of the, if this, then that type marketing is doable here. You can have multi-logic workflows for marketing automation. I don't see that you're doing much of that, but if you're getting rid of HubSpot Pro, I think it's helpful to see Odoo does all the things that HubSpot Pro does. It just, a lot less expensively. Odoo also has an extensive CRM system, and they attach the sales functionality to the CRM system. So here we're in sales. You can see a pipeline. You can construct all different types of pipelines. You can customize these cards. You can drive your tasks from here. So if you have to remember to follow up with this customer next week, you can drop your task in here, assign it to yourself or someone else, stick a due date on it. When you can hit done and schedule next, or you can simply schedule the task. So that activities tab on the right gets used a lot. So you've got sales pipelines. You can also manage your activities from here that are specifically related to sales. You can view customers from here. Now we've just gone into the contacts panel. There's several ways to get here. You've got lots of sales reporting available to you. Lead management. Let's see. Oh, I'll show you the other way to get to contacts. We're going to go back out to your contacts and go here. Contacts you can look at the individual level or at the company level. So you can see we've got individual contact information here. We can customize that information for the company here. You can trigger communications to your customers from here. Again, you've got all of your conversations here. So if you need somebody on your staff to reach out to this contact or this company for some reason, you can send them the message from in here or schedule a task for them from in here. Or you can schedule a meeting type. Here you could go straight to your calendar, use your calendar booking tools. So it does have an extensive sales and CRM function. As I mentioned before, there are a couple of different ways to get at things. So for instance, you saw the sidebar chat where all those discussions can take place. But you can also just have a general discussion panel for your whole company here. And you can trigger an internal meeting. So this can take the place of something like a Google Meet. If you're jumping back and forth between operating tools and Google tools, you could just use this system for launching internal meetings. You can invite outsiders to meetings. Here's where you would invite people to that group chat, or you can just do one-to-one chat. So this whole chat function is a very nice function. A lot of companies that use Odoo don't bother to use an external system like a Slack because they can do it all in here. Go back out to your apps. And I was mentioning before there are a lot of apps. Well, if you click the apps button, these are all the different apps and functions you could use. We have clients using Odoo for managing custom design projects. There's a great product lifecycle management tool for managing collections. We use Odoo for MRP, so we can get full manufacturing visibility throughout the life of the company's products. From production scheduling to purchasing management, you can do all of your purchase orders in here. It is a fully functioning ERP environment, so you can use as little or as much of the tool as you want. If you're paying for an external signature tool, you could replace it with Odoo Sign. You can handle repair, intake, and management from here. Odoo also has a full point of sale system and a full website system. So what we do for a lot of wholesale clients is if your products are set up in Odoo inventory management, so you've got pictures and product descriptions and product details and wholesale and retail pricing, you can actually turn all of that into a B2B web shoppable catalog. And we usually just set it up as a subdomain on the domain so people can get to it when they log into it from your website. So they can't see it if they don't have the login, but as soon as they log in, all of your products are there and ready to be B2B shopped without having to, re-enter your products on your website. When you change the products in Odoo, the products change on your website. We also have a lot of B2C websites using Odoo for active shopping cart shopping. But as you can see, there's a ton of functionality here. You also have all of the shipping integrations, so you can use Odoo for your logistics and be able to monitor all of your logistics costs and management from within here. We do have jewelry clients on Odoo. It does handle things like carat sizes and all of the different metal qualities and metal pricing. So that just gives you a sense of what's possible inside Odoo if you wanted to use more of it. Odoo also has an extremely robust accounting package that accountants like a lot better than QuickBooks. And you certainly don't have to use Odoo accounting. You can just integrate it if you need to QuickBooks. But if you were using it for production management, then you get all of your production costing rolling all the way through to your accounting without having to two-step it. So that gives you a sense of all of the app possibilities in Odoo. But again, no need to overwhelm. If all you need is your contacts and your projects and your email and social marketing, then that's all you put on the dashboard. You can do a cloud-based version or you can do a custom version. And they're both really reasonable in price. I don't actually see you guys needing a custom version. I think you could do what you needed to, unless you wanted to. If you wanted to turn on the full ERP functions of this, then I would recommend the custom version because it allows you to do all of the carat, metal quality, like the type of product specificity native to jewelry that you won't get out of the box on the cloud version, and you can't modify the cloud-based version. But if you're just doing social media, email marketing, project management, I don't think you need the custom version. If you pay annually, the price would be $249 a month for the first year because they're willing to give a $62 a month discount for the first year. And then it goes up to $311 a month. So if you paid annually 10 users, that would be $2,988. That's like 2 months of HubSpot, maybe 3. If you had 15 users, then it's $370, $350 a month for the first year, paid for the whole year, because that's the only way you get that discount, for $44.82. If you want to pay monthly, you can. It's going to be $311 a month for 10 users and $466.50 a month for 15 users. Odoo does recommend that you use a partner to get set up and implemented, just because you're going to save a ton of time. We are an Odoo partner, but you don't have to. If you really think you've got the skills to get it set up the right way the first time, they don't require it. Like systems like HubSpot and Keep, they require you to either pay them for implementation or pay a partner for implementation. Odoo does not require it. They just caution you that you may find it difficult to get set up and going if you don't use some help. So anyway, that's what I was thinking for you, rather than screwing around with a bunch of different systems. And that's how you could save a bunch of money over your HubSpot implementation without sacrificing anything, from what I can tell, because it doesn't look like you're using, any functionality in HubSpot that Odoo doesn't have out of the box.